Hello, dearest you. Welcome back to the Chat with Nelly podcast. I'm your host, Atari Nelly, and I'm so glad that you've joined me again today. On the very first episode, we kind of like set the tone for what we were going to be talking about here on the podcast. And we said that we were getting tickets, right, to Friendship Town. It's a one-way trip to Friendship Town. And today, we're going to be diving into a question that is as old as time, but still very relevant to us today, and particularly relevant to this episode of the podcast. And that question is, who is a friend? If you've listened to the intro episode, I mentioned that the world is getting lonely out by the day, lonely everywhere. People are lonely. And it is surprising because you would see that, these people have like 1,000 followers, maybe on Instagram or on Twitter or any of the social media apps. So it shows that people are more social media attentive and inclined more than actually building true bonds. And I feel like it is this social media saga that is foiling different kind of addictions these days because we get so consumed, or lack of better word, with social media and the justification and just the attention that it gives and craves. So that makes us really lonely at heart. So that's why I decided to say what we're going to talk about today was who is a friend? Because when we really search our hearts, or if we decide to take a poll, we would say that friendship is something that we all desire and we all need. From childhood to adulthood, we all want to be friends. You put a child in a play class, and maybe the first day the child cries because, they're getting detached from their mom. First day, second day, third day, they may not cry, but then they may want to like just view the environment and say, oh, okay, this is different than my mother's bedroom or my father's sitting room, right? Other like after a week or two, they loosen up and they try to be friendly with other babies there, one way or the other. So when we think about it, we desire friendship from childhood to adulthood. We seek to have people who understand us, who would walk with us and make life just a little bit lighter. But sometimes, in all honesty, it can be confusing because we don't know the difference between certain persons in our lives. So we call acquaintances friends, we call colleagues friends, we call people that we just greet on the streets friends. Not, I am not trying to say that these category of people or persons cannot, you know, transition or, go a step further and become our friends. But then it's important that we know the difference between all of these things so we don't get confused and we don't make people put high expectations on us. That's one. And then we don't put, uh, expect so much from others. So we're going to start with a definition, right? A friend is more than someone you just know. A friend is someone you share mutual trust with, respect, and care. So that's mutual trust, mutual respect, and care. And then friendship is not one-sided. It is not. And it is not forced. It's a bond that comes sometimes naturally, sometimes, you work at it. But then that bond brings encouragement, it brings accountability, and then sometimes correction, because it is important that people we call our friends, true friends, are able to tell us the truth at every point in time. And they're able to say, oh no, I think you're going the wrong way. Why not? Let's try this. Right? So they should be able to correct you and you should be able to take that correction without any form of grudge, especially when you know that they are saying the right thing and what they are talking about or correcting you about would do you a lot of good in the long run. The Bible puts it in a way, particularly in Proverbs 17, verse 17, where it says, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. So that tells us that true friends, they don't just show up when things are like okay, but they are there through storms and bad times as well. So let's go back uh, to just recap a little. A friend is more than someone you know. A friend is someone that you share mutual trust, respect, and care with. Keyword there, mutual. So friendship shouldn't be one-sided and it should not be forced. Now we come to the different circles that I mentioned earlier. Why we should not mistake this certain group or category of people or persons for friends. So it's not everyone that you smile at or that smiles at you that is your friend. We have, number one, acquaintances. People who you know their names, right? You exchange greetings with them, but the relationship is not that deep. So maybe someone you met at a church program that you may never see again until you go for that particular program again. So you may know the person's name. That's if you conversed with the person, right? But then you're not going to see the person again. So that relationship is not going to get deep. That could be an acquaintance, someone you met today in a camp meeting, right? Even if you exchange numbers, that does not mean the person is your friend from the get-go. At that point in time, that person is your acquaintance. Then we have colleagues. These are people that you work with or study with. So either at the workplace or in the classroom. So as students, we are colleagues to people in our class. As workers, whether 9 to 5 or you run a business or you have a partner, you have a colleague. These people are colleagues. So you may share a little bond because you're sharing tasks, right? But there may not be any personal connection. Again, please do not misconstrue me. I am not saying that an acquaintance or a colleague cannot become a friend. I'm saying initially when you meet this person at this point in time, your relationship may not have transitioned into friendship. So it is important that we understand those persons' places in our lives at that given point in time. We have neighbors, people who live around you or people who live in the same compound with you or in the same estate with you or in the same street, these are neighbors. You get along well, of course, because they're your neighbors. You want to be in good terms with them. But it doesn't, again, equal friendship. It does not. Yes, do people who stay in the same estate become good friends later on? Yes. But then at the point in time when you're meeting this person for the first time or the first week or the first month, they are your neighbors, they're not your friends yet. But then when we talk about friends, who a friend is, friends, these people go beyond convenience and proximity, right? They are investing in you, you're investing in them, they listen and they stand with you. Remember, we said, friendship is a relationship that shares mutual trust, respect, and care. It's not one-sided. So understanding these categories of persons would help us manage our expectations. Just as I said earlier, you would expect a colleague-to-colleague relationship if you understand that this person is your colleague and not your friend. So maybe as a student, you get into the class and you ask for a note and this person says, oh, I can't share my notes. I don't share my notes. You won't be like hurt and say, oh, I thought she was my friend. She is your colleague and she's seeing you as a colleague because I'm sure that same person who says, oh, I can't give you my notes may give it to her friend in the hostel. Just for an example. But may not give it to you because at that point in time, they may not see you as a friend. So I hope that this has established some background for us. We are going to talk about also what makes a good friend because we asked the question, who is a good friend? And that is the bone of our conversation today. There are a few qualities, that I think make a good friend. Again, remember that this is a relational podcast. So I would definitely like to hear from you at any point in time. Please, you can send a mail to chatwithnellypodcast@gmail.com and I will respond. You can decide to be anonymous, just indicate so I'll know. Or if you don't mind, you can also let us know your name or be able to say your name on the podcast. Talking about qualities of a true friend, honesty. I think that honesty is such an underrated virtue. It is not easy to be honest. It is not easy to say the truth. It's not. It is easier to tell a lie or give half truths, like somebody I know would say. It's not easy to be honest. So that is why a true friend would definitely, or a friend would have the quality of honesty. They will tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable for them and you. Because in friendships, when you are trying to tell a friend a hard truth, it's harder. It's harder. Think about it this way. It's easier for you to tell a random person in a bus that you may never see again that please, your mouth is smelling, please. I'm using that example because, that's like the worst thing to say or the hardest thing to tell someone else. So it's easy for you to tell the stranger on the bus or in a train or just randomly on the street that, oh, please, you have bad breath. Try and work on it. Than telling a friend that they have bad breath. It is hard. I promise you, it is hard. So that's why I'm saying that honesty is like one key quality of a friend, a good true friend, because it's not easy to be truthful. Truth brings light to a lot of things. And, you know, darkness will want to fight and ignorance will want to stay in play. But the truth will always bring light and help us to understand better. So honesty is one quality of a true good friend, a friend. Also loyalty, a friend should be loyal. They should stand by you, not just when it's easy. So, you know, people sometimes judge how much a friend is loyal to them when they're in like hard times and that person is still there, right? It's easy for you to have a friend who would want to like go out with you, maybe to high end restaurants, um, go go out sipping and painting to the beach where there's like when there's like money, okay? But then a loyal friend will still be there when you do not have time or money to do all of that. So they can decide to stay indoor with you and watch a movie that may not cost anything. They may decide to eat that one pack of chips with you that you have when you don't have money to make pasta or make the best of soups, if you're Nigerian or African listening to this. So, yeah, it is easier to find a friend who wants to hang out with you when there's like lots of resources to go around. Or when you find that friend that stays even when there is nothing to share or nothing for them to gain, that's a loyal friend. And that's who a friend should be. A friend should also have the quality of being able to encourage the next person. It should be able to push the other person to grow, okay? Not just cheer when you're stuck, but it should be able to from that mud, drag you out and push you to the better, encourage you, not give pity, but encourage you to do better, grow, to take that particular class you've been wanting to take, to start the business, to open the shop, to exercise, just to be better overall, right? Another quality of a friend is sacrifice. They're willing to inconvenience themselves for your good. Now, this particular quality, sacrifice, is something that people may misconstrue or misunderstand as, oh, if you sacrifice for your friend, it may just mean that, oh, they're taking you for a ride or they'll easily take you for granted. This is where wisdom comes in, and God gives wisdom to us to know how to navigate. However, a friend should be able to inconvenience themselves for you once in a while. At least something that will not be harmful to them. Or maybe you're you're married and you have a single friend or another married friend, and then probably your babysitter, sorry, is running late or is not going to come in because they're sick. If the friend has time, the friend should be able to say, "Oh, okay, fine, I'll babysit for you." Little things like that are ways to sacrifice for the next person. However, as friends, do not take advantage of this. Do not say, "Oh, this my particular friend is always trying to make sure that she's available." And then you take advantage of it and dump all of your stuff on her. That will not be fair. Or him. That will not be fair. So while we are trying to, you know, find who is a friend to us, let's remember that we are also friends to people and we also have to possess these characteristics or qualities that I have mentioned. Once again, another quality is that mutuality, right? Friendship goes both ways. It's draining when one person is giving and giving and giving and giving and not getting anything in return. You're going to be out of breath and probably just get unconscious because all your oxygen has been used. So be a friend who doesn't only collect, right? Does not only receive, but you give. So that makes your friendship a mutual way, goes in a mutual way. So we've talked about who a friend is today, and we've also been able to see that a friend is not an acquaintance, a friend is not a colleague, a friend is not a neighbor or a church member. A friend is one who has mutual respect, mutual care, you know, and there is a bond that is beyond convenience. So I like that you just reflect, you know, who are your friends? Whose friend are you? And remember that friendship is not just about receiving, but you're also giving. So while you're thinking, oh, who are the good friends in my life? Do you think that you are the kind of friend you desire to have? You know how in romantic relationships and with love and marriages, we say that while we're looking for the right person, we also have to try and be the right person. So I'm going to just, you know, borrow that word or phrase and say, while we are looking for that good, authentic, true friend, let us also prepare ourselves to be true, good, and authentic friends as well. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Chat with Nelly podcast. If you found this meaningful, please share, to someone that you care about. Uh, don't miss the next conversation because it's going to be about another particular topic, still on friendship as well. Remember that you can send in your suggestion, your question, your thoughts at to chatwithnellypodcast@gmail.com. Chatwithnellypodcast@gmail.com. Remember that true friendship is one of life's greatest treasures. If you find true friendship, you will be in awe every day. Your heart will be at peace. So I hope that you are taking this very seriously and trying your best to uh, gain as much insight as you deem fit. uh, Thank you very much. I remain your host, Nelly Atari, and this is Chat with Nelly Podcast.